Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over everything we know about 2K26 gameplay right now, kind of updating the video that I did yesterday on all of Beluba's different answers on different things gameplay related, because a lot of this is more interesting than the content they really gave us in the gameplay reveal, to be honest. I'll go over real quickly the stuff that I talked about in yesterday's video in case you missed that, but then I'm going to talk about all the new tweets because there's a bunch of new things that he has talked about in 2K26 that I think mostly sound relatively positive. So we'll talk about all that. Now, before we hop into it, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 50,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, multiple videos a day. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into it. Again, real quickly, I will touch on all the things that I talked about from yesterday's video. Number one being there will be no RNG in shooting at all. If you haven't heard this yet, then you're living under a rock. This is a big deal. Changes the shooting entirely from how it's ever been in other years, and that is a huge change for 2K26. Again, yesterday I made a video covering all this stuff, so if you want to hear my more in-depth thoughts, that video is there. There will be instant greens only on wide open shots with a good shooter in 2K26, so whatever good shooter is, we'll see what the threshold is for that, but that's it for instant greens. Otherwise they will not be instant. Shot meters from 2K24 and 2K25 are all in the game, as well as the new default meter that was in the gameplay video, which looked like a pretty solid meter if you do use shot meter. There have been changes to the contest system, rebalancing the effectiveness hands up, no jump contest and jumping contest to better reflect how shots are affected in real life. I don't really know, but there are coverage percentages and full shot feedback. Adrenaline is going to be pretty similar to how it's been in the past, but they nerfed standstill dribbling a little bit. If you spam escapes or different things like that, it will drain a bar of adrenaline. So it actually has nerfed the way dribbling is a little bit, which is something that I hope is offset by a lot of other positive changes to dribbling, because that means you can actually dribble less already. And I already feel like you can't dribble that much in a lot of ways, in a lot of situations. Is there high risk or low risk? No, there's no more high risk or low risk. Everyone will be shooting on the same playing field. Talked about that yesterday too. And that is everything we talked about in yesterday's video. So all the new stuff now. How do height/attribute restrictions work for the custom layups? This doesn't matter to us as my team players, but if in case you're interested, there are restrictions now on that. So you can read through that if you'd like. You can use quick protect at any time, which is just going to be, I believe they said, tapping left trigger, and it will like protect the ball from a steal attempt. This might actually be a really good move, potentially, depending on how effectively it can like crab defenders and stuff. And it is a dribble move that you can use as much as you want without using adrenaline, so that's good. Let's see. Ball handlers are going to be stunned when they get the ball poked away from them. Bigs will play a slight stumble if they're heavily contested / blocked under the rim to give the defense an edge in recovering a 50-50 ball. So this is intended to tweak 50-50 balls and have them happen a lot. Also, you can get a lot of steals now when posting up far away from the rim to mitigate L2 cheese, which is really bad in twos last year for those of you who might have played Park. So now, and when you're posting up far away from the basket, you're going to be a lot easier to get the ball stolen from you. And then when there are loose balls from like a bump steal or a bad shot that leads to a like here, if you shoot a bad shot, the defense is more likely to get the defensive rebound, for example. So I think in general there is probably going to be a little bit more punishment for making a mistake offensively this year. You will likely not get the ball back quite as much and get fluke stops and things like that. More often than not, the advantage will probably go towards the defense when you make that type of mistake, which is something that I am totally fine with. The dunk meter green window will still move dynamically based on contest, and we will see how big the dunk meter actually winds up being and how good the dunk meter really is once we get the game. They have attempted to address dexing by basically making it consume adrenaline if you continue to do it back and forth over and over again, which probably hurts the viability of a corner spacer a little bit in terms of their ability to actually create space for themselves to get an open shot in Park. It doesn't matter really in my team though. In team control modes, this isn't a big deal. Can anyone do a quick catch and shoot, or does it have attribute badge requirements? Anyone can do the quick catch and shoot. And then there's another question on this as well that I think was really interesting, the way that he answered it. In fact, let's just find that real quickly if we can, because I think that was that's connected, and I think it's definitely interesting. So there's another question right here for the no dip, the quick catch and shoot shooting right here. Is the size of the green window different for no dip compared to regular catch and shoot? The green window is the same for quick catch and shoot as it is for regular shots. So spot ups are going to be quick catch and shooting all the time. But not only that, my question yesterday was, can you quick catch and shoot in team control modes? And the answer to that question is Yes, you can. If you hold L2 or LT as you receive the catch on a jump shot, you can do a quick catch and shoot, which is going to make spot ups in the corner more dangerous than ever. Probably will have less baiting off of corners because of that, or it'll have to be more precise because that's going to allow shots to get up quicker, especially if the green window is the same, like they said it is. So that's a big deal with those catch and shoot, those no dip catch and shoots. So that's important, I think, to note. Let's go back to where we were here if we can find that, because there's some other stuff as well that I think is really, really interesting, which is right here. Okay, changes to dunking. Holding turbo and the pro stick down, just R2 or RT with the pro stick down is how you meter dunk. So there's no more up down, it's just holding down, which encourages more flashy dunks, but you can also get flashy dunks with the shot button only if you're wide open. So you're not going to be getting contact dunks with X, basically. The meter dunk logic has changed a lot, so it's a lot easier to green open dunks, which it already was, I feel like. It'll be interesting to see what they determine as open dunks, because this could make the meter dunk kind of OP again, and we'll also see if it is even greenable at all on super contested dunks or not. We'll see. Sounds like the meter dunk is going to be used even more next year, though, and it's going to be even easier to use. How do rhythm shooting and button shooting compare? The idea that they had was to make neither have an advantage over the other. They're very different mechanics. Some will be better with the button and some will be better with the stick, but he thinks rhythm shooting is better. So basically rhythm shooting is better. Just like last year. The first sentence of that doesn't really mean much, I don't think. The rhythm shooting is likely going to be the way to shoot again, for the meta players, for the most part anyway. This question, I didn't really still don't totally understand the question, to be totally honest. Can you explain how the rhythm shooting works? Can I still green shot with early and late timing? I'm sorry, I don't really totally understand the answer. He says rhythm shooting is basically all about mastering your shot's unique tempo. There's still an ideal timing point for when to push the pro stick, but you don't have to green the timing to make the shot, but you do have to green the tempo, and you will have a bigger green window when you, well, there's also animation changes where like the longer you hold it, then they'll hang in the air. You could do like an MJ hang kind of, to a certain extent anyway, which could be interesting, I guess, but your green window is going to be much smaller when you do these like quick catch and shoot type, not the quick catch and shoot with L2, but like the quick shot with rhythm shooting is what it sounds like, which is very important. I think if you're able to just quick shot with the same green window, why would you not do it? You know what I mean? The quick catch and shoot, it'll be interesting. My dog just barked. It'll be interesting to see if they tweak that at all and make that work differently at all with the quick catch and shoot, because I think everybody's going to be quick catching shooting almost every single catch and shoot shot if the green window is the same, whereas they won't be quick rhythm shooting it because the green window's going to get smaller the quicker you do it. If you do it smoothly and consistently, you'll have the biggest green window, which is what people will do for the most part, I would think. So are there any changes to dribbling besides the new controls for signature size ups? Dribbling has apparently changed a lot, and branching and chaining moves will generally feel more responsive, and you can interrupt more moves than you could in 2K25. We made an effort to make dribbling faster and the inputs more responsive as well. You'll find some great new content as well as the return of some old favorites. Oh, Scottie Pippen behind the back is back. That move behind the back up the court, which was really, really good. That's like the Pro 3 behind the back is what it was one year as well. Really good SIG. That is going to be a very, very popular thing. Again, it'll probably bring a return to deep hash offense to a certain extent as well, depending on whether the off-ball defense is. But this is a positive. I mean, this sounds good. Quicker, smoother dribbling that you can cancel easier, and you can chain more. It'll allow you to be more creative. It'll create more of a skill gap offensively, which I think is very good. And it's one of the things that was great about like 2K20, 2K21, 2K22. Those games just had more of a skill gap when it came to the dribbling, specifically of the 2Ks I played, 21, 22. But I know old 2Ks as well, like 16 and 17 and stuff like that. There was so much creativity with the dribbling that has kind of come out of the game over time. But this sounds really, really good. This is a very encouraging note to me. Next up, since double tapping circle/B is wrap passes now, can you still do flashing passes? If you like to do flashy passes, which I personally don't, but it's A plus B, and self alley-oops are now X plus Y. So it's just different positioning to throw different passes or do different things. So that's something that I think will become second nature over time as you practice it, if you use those inputs at all. If you don't green a rebound, can you still get it? And what happens when two people both green a rebound? This, I think, answers a lot of people's questions about rebound timing, because everybody's like panicking. Well, greening a rebound, that's so stupid. And look at the bottom of what this says. The core mechanics around how rebounding works isn't changing. Timing your jump has always been an important aspect. The indicator was added to help people understand how it works more. Sounds like they're not even really changing the way it works at all. You just have a visual indicator as to whether or not you timed your jump well versus not having one, which is a good thing. You know what I mean? It'll help people become better at rebounding, but I don't think it'll actually change the gameplay. And again, he said if 2 players agree in the rebound timing, the outcome is determined by positioning, ratings, and height, just like it has been before. I don't think this is going to change the way that rebounding works really much at all, to be totally honest. So that is a good thing overall. Is the size of the green window different for no dip compared? Oh, we already answered this question. This is a big deal. Again, I think that there's gonna be a lot of no dip shooting. Changes to baseline sensitivity. There apparently was an improvement to address the baseline sensitivity, basically meaning, I guess, that you'll step out of bounds less if you're trying to do baseline layups. So that's cool. Hopefully that will prevent less bad. I would love the animation where you like stumble and get shoved out of bounds as well. I don't love that animation. I think it's kind of unrealistic, but that'll probably still be in the game realistically. We'll see. Next up, can we pull the chair when back down in the paint? Yes, you can pull the chair by tapping B when the offensive player makes contact with you. This could be good to defend against the post. I feel like you couldn't do that this year. You used to not be able to do it. You used to be able to do it. Now you can't, or you used to not be, I can't speak. You used to be able to do it. Now you can't do it, but apparently you'll be able to again this year in 2K26. So that is cool. Turning off the shot meter will still slightly increase the size of your green window as it always has. That's good. I'm a fan. Can you cancel out of go-to shots? Yes, you can cancel like regular go-to shots out of the post go-to shots. You can also pump fake and chain to step throughs, which I need to learn how to do step throughs because I don't really know how to do that. Are there any changes to pluck steals and lane steals? This is a big change as well. On-ball steal targeting and steal animations have been improved to reward defenders who position themselves well and anticipate the dribbler's moves. The canned animation pluck steals, which I hate, the steals where they just take the ball out of your hand, you're not doing anything wrong, have been almost entirely disabled, which is a huge W. It creates more skill. It says pass interceptions have been tuned a bit, but are similar in effectiveness to 2K25. I hope they're very slightly better, especially in half court. In the full court, I think they're fine. In the half court, I think they could be tweaked a little bit. But I am a big fan of now. It sounds like steals, you're going to get them more when you are in the right place, anticipating your dribbler moves. So bump steals, when you're in position, you anticipate an escape or a size up or a crossover or somebody changing direction as they're bringing the ball up the court in a full court press. This is going to create more skill, I think, to bump steals and make it more important to avoid them, so that less often the offensive player gets rewarded for running into a bump steal and the ball just goes through the player, because stuff like that has been really stupid in the past. I think this is a big change, and it sounds like this is a good thing. I think we'll see, but if this works the way that it should be, then this could be really, really good and improve, I think, again, skill gap when it comes to some of the competitive stuff defensively. Are there any changes to bursts and change of direction? It says they spent some time tuning the dribbler's ability to start, stop, and cut. Speed and tightness of change directions will vary based on ratings and dribble style. Hopefully dribble styles are at least more versatile this year, where there's more good ones, because it's really annoying playing the entire first 6 months of my team with nobody with Darius Garland dribble style. It was just so dumb this year. Like you should be able to run with your player out of a dribble move. You just should. And this year you couldn't. Hopefully that is changed for sure. Are there any improvements to standing dunks? It sounds like they've reworked logic for standing dunks to make them more reliable. So the more open you are in standing dunk, they should be better now, which is good, because I feel like the green windows were kind of too small on standing dunks in a lot of situations this year. And it says standing skill dunks have generally larger green windows to compensate for how fast most of those dunks are, which will make standing dunks with the stick better for sure. Do motion styles have an effect on gameplay? Yes, motion styles are driven by pro play, just like dribble styles. So some styles will naturally be quicker and more explosive than others. For 2K26, they've added rating gates to different motion styles, so that you need better attributes to get the better ones, which, by the way, will tell us from 2K which motion styles are probably the best, which, I mean, people will figure it out anyway, right? But I guess that's interesting. That being said, overall, this sounds pretty positive, I have to say. Like, I like what sounds like the changes to bump steals and not less pluck steal, like uncontrollable steal animation things where it's not really your fault, but they get the ball anyway. I think the changes with the quick dip shooting is honestly kind of nice, and I think it'll make offense a little bit better, which again is something that I don't mind. It'll make people be a little bit smarter and safer and just, I think, more precise defensively. The dribbling changes sound overall positive. It really does sound like you're going to be able to dribble faster and more effectively and create more space and have more creativity with the dribble moves you do, which is, again, I think, going to elevate the skill gap offensively. These are overall changes that sound pretty positive. Now, again, we have to play the game before we actually know if they're true, you know what I mean? And also the game is going to change as the year progresses because of patches. So the version of 2K26 that Mike Wang has played and is answering questions based stuff is not the version likely that we are going to play on day one, let alone the version we'll be playing in October or November. So keep that in mind. But this does sound legitimately encouraging, and gameplay is a huge part of the experience because content for my team specifically is probably going to suck regardless. If the gameplay is at least fun, it at least mitigates a little bit of that frustration, I think. And I think it's very important when it comes to reintroducing competitive my team with $500,000-ish that is going to be available throughout the year in King of the Court. So that being said, that is going to do it for this video. I'll update y'all again here in the next couple days if we get a lot of more interesting answers and stuff. But as of right now, I thought there was enough here of like new important content to know that it was worth making this update video. So I hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.